There are moments in life when the hidden world is forced into the light. I stand before you not as someone guessing about darkness, but as someone who once lived inside it. I know the strategies, the timings, the assignments, and the spiritual patterns that operate behind the scenes. Today, I reveal a truth many fear to confront. There are specific fasting hours that dismantle witchcraft operations at their root. These hours are not random. They are strategic, spiritually charged, and devastating to every assignment sent against your life. What I am about to share is not theory. It is exposure. There is a reason the hours between midnight and 3 in the morning are feared in the kingdom of darkness. I know this because I once participated in what happened during that time. It is a window when spiritual transactions are carried out with focus and precision. Decisions are made, names are mentioned, and assignments are released. It is not a time of silence in the spirit realm. It is a time of activity, planning, and targeted operations against destinies. While many people sleep unaware, strategies are being formed to weaken faith, attack health, disturb peace, and delay purpose. But here is the truth that shatters fear. When a believer rises during those same hours to fast and pray, the entire atmosphere shifts. Darkness does not dominate automatically. It dominates only when unchallenged. The moment you wake up with intention, denying your flesh and lifting your voice to God, you interrupt illegal spiritual meetings. You step into the courtroom of heaven while others attempt to operate in secrecy. Your fasting becomes a weapon of light that exposes and dismantles hidden agendas formed against you. Fasting during this hour sharpens your spiritual alertness in a way that comfort never can. When the body is subdued, the spirit becomes sensitive. You begin to discern what once confused you. You sense what once caught you off guard. Instead of being a victim of unseen transactions, you become a participant in divine reversal. Every prayer you release carries authority because it is backed by sacrifice. Every declaration you speak carries weight because it rises from discipline and surrender. This is not about fear of darkness. It is about understanding strategy. If the enemy values a time window, then you must value it more. When you consistently stand between midnight and 3 in the morning, you send a clear message in the spirit realm. You are not passive, you are not unaware, you are not available for manipulation. You are a watchman over your destiny, and you refuse to allow decisions about your life to be made without your participation. Many breakthroughs are waiting in those quiet hours. Many battles are won before the sun rises. When you fast at that time, you are not just praying defensively. You are enforcing victory before the day even begins. What was scheduled to manifest is cancelled. What was planned to delay you is overturned. What was whispered in darkness is answered with light. Rise in those hours and you will see assignments shatter before they ever reach your door. 6 in the morning is not just the start of a new day. It is a spiritual gateway. It is the moment when what was prepared in the night attempts to step into physical reality. I know this because I once understood how darkness waits for daylight to manifest its plans. The early hours carry influence and direction. They determine how the day will unfold and what atmosphere will dominate. Many people rush into their routines unaware that the day has already been programmed in the unseen realm. When you rise at 6 in the morning with fasting and prayer, you confront that programming head on. You do not wait to react to problems. You establish authority before they appear. As you deny your flesh and focus your spirit, you begin to rewrite what was written against you. Your voice becomes legislation in the spirit realm. Your prayers cancel what was designed to frustrate you. Instead of walking into traps prepared overnight, you walk into a day that has been surrendered and secured. Early morning fasting builds spiritual dominance over daily outcomes. It shifts you from being managed by circumstances to managing them through alignment with God. When you stand before the Lord at the break of day, you are declaring that nothing moves without divine permission. You are taking ownership of your peace, your productivity, and your purpose. The day does not dictate your mood, your results, or your direction. You dictate them through consecration and intentional surrender. There is power in beginning before the world becomes noisy. At 6 in the morning, distractions are minimal and your spirit is clear. This is when your declarations sink deep and establish roots. This is when you speak protection over your family and clarity over your decisions. This is when confusion is dismantled before it has a chance to grow. What the enemy hoped would unfold gradually throughout the day is cut off at the root before it ever takes shape. If midnight to 3 in the morning is the hour of confrontation, then 6 in the morning is the hour of establishment. It is where you seal victories and set divine order in motion. Every time you fast and pray at this hour, you are announcing that your day belongs to God. You are choosing alignment over accident and authority over anxiety. Rise early, guard your morning, and watch every negative assignment lose its power before it can breathe. 3 in the afternoon carries a depth that many overlook. It seems like an ordinary hour when the day is already in motion and energy begins to slow. Yet in the spirit realm, it represents a moment of divine response and intervention. I learned that darkness often assumes that if an assignment has survived the night and the morning, it will complete its cycle by evening. It counts on fatigue and distraction to finish what it started. But this hour interrupts that expectation with the power of mercy and divine attention. When you choose to fast and pray at 3 in the afternoon, you step into a moment charged with spiritual significance. It is a time that symbolizes sacrifice and answered cries. As your body feels the strain of the day and your hunger deepens, your spirit rises with greater intensity. You are not praying casually at this point. You are pressing with focus and determination. What seemed persistent begins to weaken under the weight of your consistency and surrender. This hour is powerful because it confronts what has been unfolding throughout the day. If anything slipped past the midnight watch and the early morning establishment, it meets resistance here. You stand in the gap and declare that the cycle ends now. Delays that tried to solidify begin to break apart. Oppression that tried to settle into your mind loses its grip. Fatigue that tried to silence your faith is replaced with renewed strength. Fasting at 3 in the afternoon teaches endurance and spiritual maturity. It reminds you that victory is not only about starting strong, but about finishing with authority. Many people begin the day with passion but lose focus as hours pass. When you return to prayer at this hour, you demonstrate unwavering commitment. You prove that your devotion is not emotional excitement, but disciplined faith. That consistency sends a clear message in the spirit realm that you cannot be worn down. By the time evening approaches, you have sealed your day with intentional consecration. Midnight confronted hidden plans. 6 in the morning, established divine order. 3 in the afternoon, enforced intervention and completion. Every witchcraft assignment that hoped to survive the cycle of the day finds no resting place. Stand firm in this hour and watch every lingering attack dissolve under the authority of persistent prayer. I have walked in darkness, and I have seen how calculated and intentional its operations can be, but I have also seen something greater. I have seen what happens when a believer understands timing and refuses to remain passive. These hours are not rituals. They are moments of alignment, sacrifice, and spiritual authority. When you rise at midnight, when you establish your morning at 6, and when you enforce victory at 3 in the afternoon, you are not reacting to fear. You are standing in dominion. You do not have to wonder who is speaking your name in secret when you are boldly speaking before God in the open. You do not have to fear assignments formed in hidden places when you consistently occupy strategic hours with fasting and prayer. Light always overpowers darkness when it is activated. Authority always prevails when it is exercised. The key is discipline, awareness, and unwavering faith. If I could leave you with one truth, it is this: the same hours once used to plan attacks can become the very hours that establish your victory. Rise, fast, pray, and watch every assignment against your life shatter.